My reaction to the Ravens' 37-26 win in New England in Week 3. Apparently, the Ravens franchise's first regular season win in New England. I was not aware of that. I had seen that statistic a couple of days ago and wanted to go back and read some more to confirm that it was true, but it was confirmed true in the Discord for me that, that's our first regular season win in New England. So it's always going to be tough to go up there when you have Belichick and that staff. I know that their talent level offensively is a little different than some of the years we faced them, particularly dating back to even 2007 and so. And defensively, they don't have as many names, but they're still effective, still coached well. And you saw examples of that. They really put us in what I would call 11 personnel hell, whereby, one running back, one tight end on the field. And yeah, I saw the statistic, under center, they were predominantly run, in the shotgun, they were predominantly pass. I mean, that's football. That's been a tendency for coaches for years. That's not surprising. So I thought they gave us problems defensively, and that became obvious more as the game got on. I will have some observations about the defense. I will talk about 3 particular possessions for the Ravens offense. At this point, it's assumed that Lamar Jackson is going to play amazing. I don't know about you. I'm not, my impressions of the game are kind of separate from my impressions of Lamar Jackson. That's the standard he's held to at this point. I'm old enough to where I remember Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Steph Curry and, Joe Montana's another name for me. Like those guys, they're going to perform at a high level, and you leave, if the announcers weren't there telling us, hey, Lamar's generated 5 touchdowns, you might leave and think, oh, he played pretty good today. And then you go and you see he throws for 227 and 3 touchdowns, runs for 2 or whatever it was, generates 5 touchdowns. Great players do that. Great basketball players do that. I think of some guys that I saw play in high school and college, incredible players. You leave the gym that night. This is pre-social media, okay? And you leave the gym that night, and you're in the car with your friends, and you say, well, how many points you think he had? Man, he probably had 28, maybe 30. And then you look in the newspaper the next day. Yeah, I'm that old. You look in the newspaper the next day, he had 46. Great players do that. It's kind of assumed that they're going to play great, and it's kind of difficult to notice that sometimes, even though they're such an outlier compared to so many people in the field. Lamar, to me, is in that realm. The stats and stuff are going to start to show. I'm going to have some general observations, talk about some Ravens possessions. I generally like the reaction videos to premiere after the 4 o'clock games are over. I know other people watch all the games. I don't. Just a tactical decision for me in terms of my channel. So a couple of things I'm going to talk about as you see pictures and stats go. Number 1, I really liked the way that we used the option as a secondary element today offensively. For a lot of reasons. I said a tweet about it earlier, right after the game was over. So Macari goes down, unfortunate. It looked like a really random thing where him and Justice Hill ankle. I don't know if it was the same ankle as last year, but I thought he had an ankle injury last year. But here's what it did. It helped Daniel Falele out, let's be honest, right? Because 91, who's a badass football player, was giving him problems. Up to the point where we started running option stuff, Wise, number 91, and Judon to a lesser extent, they were like hitters in a baseball game that all you throw is fastballs to. Let me feed you this fastball. Even nowadays, man, even if you throw 97, people can hit that if they know it's coming. Once we started to run some option stuff, even we have a pass protection scheme where we leave the D end unblocked and a guard pulls and is kind of responsible for him and a back helps out. So it's a gap pass pro scheme, basically. And when we started to do those things, I thought it slowed down the defensive ends in terms of their rush. Really helped them a lot, if you ask me. Also, the run game takes some pressure off of Lamar and the receivers. Takes some pressure off of Lamar for a play or two in terms of having to identify the coverage. Because, if you haven't listened to my videos before and maybe you disagree, that's fine. I think he's asked to do more than pretty much everyone. Who else is asked to read all the option plays, keep it and run? He had 11 carries today. Personally, I'd like to see that be like 6 or 8, but we needed it, bottom line. Our use of the option, I think, started to be heavier when A, we found out that it was working, and B, the other things were not working. We couldn't pass pro. We did help out Falele, but the run game, in my opinion, helped him out just as much as any help from a running back or a tight end, anything like that. Like I said about point number 2, like I said about Lamar, it's assumed at this point that he's going to play great with one caveat. I think his elbow hurts worse than we know. And early on, there were some throws that I thought illustrated that. I forget which possession it was. He had two bad throws. I want to say it was our third possession after we had gone up 7-0. Yeah, you had the incomplete to Andrews on the right side. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't the third possession. Maybe it was later than that. But there was two bad throws, and in our Discord, a bunch of us, and I'm brutally honest. Like that's how I was raised with football. That's the coaching example I had. So I said, hey, that was a terrible possession by Lamar. But you can point that out because everything else he does is so freaking amazing. But it was gutsy in my opinion because after that possession, I think it was a 3-and-out. It might have been the one he threw an interception on. It was the one he threw an interception on. After that, he played amazing. It was like he said, okay, I don't have time for my elbow to hurt. I'm just going to go ahead and be a superhero, and he is. I mean, he's my favorite player. I could talk about him all day, but there's so much depth to this team. Point number 3, injuries, man. We've got so many of them, and we're 2-1, so we're blessed. We should be thankful. It's frustrating to watch as the injuries occur during the game, but 2-1 start with all the injuries we have, all the guys who haven't played a down or haven't contributed much. I mean, J.K. played today, and he contributed some, but I thought there was a point where we said, okay, we're going to shut him down for the rest of the day and just let him move on to the next game. I hope there wasn't anything like, hey, he doesn't look good. I didn't think he looked bad at all. So we've scored 99 points in 3 games. We've gave up a lot, more than we would like to, but let's be honest, that's the style of football the NFL and college wants. That's what they want. They want high-scoring games. I did not think that the Patriots would score 26 points on us. I did not. But like I said, they put us in that 11 personnel hell whereby, we're having trouble stopping the run in 11 personnel with our nickel, and then we're having trouble matching up with them in the pass, which leads me into point number 4. We are a zone team, in my opinion, defensively. Now, I only have the broadcast view, so I can't, make any declarations necessarily, but you can see there, like with the stats, Devontae Parker, I felt like 3 of his 5 catches that went for big yards was against man. I know he did have the catch against cover 2 on the right sideline where Peters passed him off. I think we're a zone team at this point. Time will tell and prove me, wrong or right or whatever. I just want us to play whatever we're most effective at for real. So Owe, I thought, played well. I thought there was 5 times he was held. I haven't watched the whole game. A buddy of mine watches the game over and watches every defensive possession for me. And then as I'm building my reaction video, he sends me messages confirming things that, him and I saw. He's a person I coached with for years and I trust. And he said it. He said, man, it was 5 times. Owe got held 5 times. I'm looking at the text message right now. He got held 5 times. And I don't know that it was called once. It might have been called once. No Justin Houston after the first 2 possessions, maybe the first. Pierce goes out. Did Jones play today? I didn't see him. Ojabo hasn't played a snap. Bowser hasn't played a snap. I mean, to make matters worse, like a guy in the preseason who set the world on fire with how he played, Josh Ross, he's now out for the year. So, injuries are a part of the game. Other teams have a lot of injuries that they're dealing with. That my point overall is we have all those injuries. We still scored 99 points. We're still 2-1, and we could very easily be 3-0. Sit here on a Sunday night and feel good. If you watch the Sunday night game, I don't even know what the Sunday night game is. I'm so focused in on the Ravens or Ravens content and you guys with this channel that I don't even know when other teams play, except for Miami, and Buffalo. I obviously knew when they played. But injuries is a part of the game, and they're stacking up for us, unfortunately. Maybe we have to make some roster moves and some concessions in terms of certain things. Okay, so on the defensive piece, the turnovers was obviously huge. I mean, forcing the turnovers is the difference in the game from giving up possibly 2 more scores. And that's reality. Does that mean we're a horrible defense? No. We're certainly not a great defense or a very good one right now, but we have made some plays at the right times, and that's what playmakers do. This is going to be my 5th point, and then I'll return at the end with my 6th point. I'm going to talk about 2 possessions here in a moment, but my 5th point about the turnovers. I think it's very interesting, man, who had the turnovers today. I think the first turnover was an interception by Bynes, and you guys know what I think of Bynes, and I think he's a calming aspect. I think he had 9 or 10 tackles today. Thought there was one play where the running back bounced it and he didn't look good, but we all had trouble. When Stevenson bounced it, he would do that thing that like Le'Veon Bell would do I don't know if it was duo, because that's the Steelers play that they ran with Le'Veon Bell, where you get up near the line of scrimmage, kind of hesitate, let the defense get sucked into the inside gaps, and then bounce it outside, or find the open gap on the inside. It looked like to me that's what Stevenson was doing. I don't know if it was a duo scheme or not, but we all had trouble with it. So Bynes has the first one. I think Humphrey has the second interception. So we went a long stretch without turnovers. Great play. I think it was on Parker. Parker's number one, right? Who lit up Stevens and other guys. And I did a video on Humphrey earlier this week, and I'm not trying to say I told you so because I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to be that kind of person, period. But when we moved him over there, he shut that guy down and got the interception. Is he going to shut down every receiver in the league? No. But to me, the personal characteristics of Parker, he's the type of guy that Humphrey shuts down. Bigger, stronger, wins 50-50 balls. Stevens is giving it his all, but I think athletically that's a mismatch. I love Brandon Stevens. I love his game. I'm glad we got him. I don't think putting him in man against Parker is the best idea, but sometimes we have to play man. But to my eyes, right now, I think we're not a man team. We're a zone team. Third turnover, I think, is Hamilton, right? On the forced fumble. Fantastic play. Recovering, it wasn't him that got beat. I think it was Stevens that got beat, but I could be wrong. Or no, it was Pepe, sorry. It was Pepe that got beat. Big play, right? And Hamilton forces the fumble. Beautiful example. And then Peters recovers it somehow on the sideline. Just beautiful football. I hope you feel the same way about it as I do, even though, we obviously gave up a lot of yards. We don't want to give up that many yards. But the Patriots are well coached. Regardless of what you think of Matt Patricia as a head coach, they're well coached. And they're going to find your weaknesses and try to exploit them. And they correctly looked at our team and said their weakness is not in their base defense. Our base 3-4 or 4-3, whatever we're in, because we can play both. Our weakness is 11 personnel. And that does not bode well. That doesn't make me tremendously excited about the Bills and Bengals games, because they're big 11 personnel teams. So we're going to give up yards in 11 personnel. I just think we are. We're going to have to make plays and hold people to field goals. You can see from some of the stats here. They outgained us, 447 to 394. You can see it right here on the left side of the screen. They had more turnovers. They also had more first downs. Time of possession, about even. Right? So, and then the final turnover is Peters on the interception. Man, beautiful. I'm going to say something that makes me feel good today. I get to do a Marcus Peters film study this week. Like, how good does that sound? Maybe it doesn't sound that good to you because of my voice or whatever, but I am really excited to just be able to watch, 18 or 20 of his plays, try to whittle that down into 10 or 12 plays that you would like to watch and provide some accurate commentary for it. Really excited for his return, for him to look closer to full health. I thought he showed signs today of being close. I know that some of you might be like, man, you're not talking that much about Lamar. Like I said earlier, man, it's assumed at this point that he's going to dominate. All right, what I'm going to talk about next is going to be our fifth possession, I believe. I think the Patriots are up 10-7, I believe, late second quarter. And it looks kind of like a bad start to the possession. If you look at the top one, 1st and 10, first play, we get Duvernay on that like wide run, and Wise was still giving us problems. I think Wise was there. It was like a loss of 4. And it was like, damn, here we are. We're down 3. You kind of get this feeling that New England's starting to figure out our defense, and we're in trouble. And then we go QB counter read on that 2nd and long. Huge gain by Lamar off the left side, I think. RPO on the next play. We give it to JK. And then the next one, nobody covers JK in the flats. I thought he was wide open. But everybody else was shut down. It was play action. I'm talking about the 2nd and 7 for an 11-yard gain. Then this like counter option play started to hit them. And I don't know that we're really reading it, to be honest with you. We're in the pistol, and Lamar, it opens to the right. So, envision yourself being the quarterback, being Lamar. You get the ball, you open, you turn your shoulders 90 degrees to the right. The running back is on that side as well. That's where he's handing the ball off. The defensive end to that side is unblocked. Actually, both DNs are unblocked. We're pulling the right guard, and we're kicking out Wise to the left, and it's a designed wind back. Now, Lamar might be reading the D end. Okay, he may be reading the D end. I'm not sure. I haven't. I'm taking notes as you can see during the game. But this play started to tear the Dolphins. It started to tear up the Patriots defense. And we go back to the counter read on a 2nd and 3 from their 30. Lamar gets another 11, another wind back where remember JK was supposed to get tackled for a loss, and then he ends up gaining 2 or 3. And then on the 2nd and 7, the touchdown to Andrews. Huge play. Huge. They were talking about the ball being underthrown. I guess it is slightly underthrown there, maybe by a yard or 2. I always try to mention how many yards I think a ball is underthrown or off target by. Because, if you just say underthrown, okay, what if it's underthrown by 5 yards? I think this one was maybe underthrown by a yard and a half, 2 yards. For whatever reason, the Patriots decided to bring pressure on this 2nd and 7. We're on their 16, and it was a bad tactical decision. They were getting pressure at this point with Wise and or Judon. They didn't. I didn't think they needed to bring pressure. A tactical mistake, if you ask me by them. We go up 14-10. Of course, our defense lets them go down and get a field goal and cut it to 14-13 at halftime. And there's a very different feeling for me and the people in our Discord. We were, we were upset, that we gave up so many yards that easily. 14-13 at the half. And I think offensively, we've got 2 big drives, and a lot of us said, hey, we need 2 more touchdowns this half. 2 more touchdowns would have won the game, but it would have been really close. I think the turnovers clearly helped. So they go down. I believe the Patriots go down first possession of the third quarter, and they go ahead and they take a lead. They take the lead, 20-14, and it looked easy. Parker goes up top for defensive pass interference on Stevens on 2nd and 8, but he catches the ball anyway. So it puts them on our 32. Running back gets a cutback. Harris, who's a good running back too, along with Stevenson for 11 yards. Then the big play, the 1st and goal empty. We're up 14-13. And Queen with a great read, a fantastic read in the left flats. Jumps it, has a pick 6. There was some contact with him and the receiver. So, he'd have to adjust his hands and make the catch. And he drops it. One of those things where Queen gets an opportunity to make a play, doesn't make it. But he's going to get a lot of opportunities. He's going to be on the field. We got to trust and believe that he's going to make some of them plays. He makes that play there. He's probably gone unless some receiver or running back or someone catches him. Again, I thought the Patriots made a tactical mistake there on 1st and goal going empty and hurry up. It was like out of their personality in terms of what was working. What was working, I thought, was 11 personnel run game under center, 11 personnel shotgun throwing the ball, putting us in some conflict with the play action under center too. But in any case, the very next play, they go 11 personnel under center, I think, run the ball. No, they were in a shotgun and run the ball, and Harris scores easily. So they go up 20-14. We answer in the most dramatic way that I think really changed the dynamic of the game. I got 2 possessions listed here. Hopefully you guys can see them good. 6th possession, like I said, New England just taking that 20-14 lead. We get the ball and we run this counter wind back. As you can see at the top, I've got us running it twice and then a delay to JK. But look at the big one was the run by Hill for 34 yards on the 2nd and 1 from their 40. But the first, JK, first play of the drive, that counter wind back, 5 yards. Incomplete to Andrews. I think it was throwing behind him. That might have been the one where Andrews had to slide. And then the 3rd and 5, the great throw to Duve. We're in bunch left, and so we run over and an under. So basically we run a shallow drag and an over, and then Duve is the outside receiver. He's the Marquise Brown routes now. So I think he takes an outside release and then brings it back, kind of like a post or a later developing dig route. Late throw to Duve, we get 18. Hill on the stretch for 9. Then that huge 34-yard run on another wind back. I can't wait to do a video on those, but if Baldy's Breakdown does a video on that counter wind back that we're running, it kind of puts it out in terms of being monetized. I can still do it, make it not monetized. Counter delay to JK for 4. Gets us down to the 2, and we get a fortuitous penalty, and then a beautiful throw by Lamar. That 2nd and goal throw to Oliver for the touchdown was beautiful. And this is where sometimes people who don't really understand angles, space, and football, I heard somebody, it wasn't on my Discord. I briefly saw it on Twitter because I clicked over to Twitter and I was going to post something about the throw. Somebody said something like, thankfully Oliver made a good catch. Like, no, he's throwing it away from the defender that Oliver's running toward. Oliver was running right to left. Lamar threw it behind intentionally. That's great ball placement. That's where Lamar is misunderstood by some people, not by everybody. So we go up 21-20 on that one. Great possession, real big answer if you ask me. And then the next Patriots possession, they're at about midfield, and two great plays. A 2nd and 6 where they go back shoulder to Humphrey, and it's incomplete, left side. And then on the 3rd and 6, I think one of our edge rushers wins upfield. I don't know that Jones had to step up a lot, but I thought one of our edge rushers won upfield. I don't know who it was. I don't have it noted here. And then Matabike with the sack. And there was a hold on him. They just finally called the shit. So we declined the penalty, obviously, force them to punt. Great situation here. 4th and 10. They're punting from their own 37, at least a line of scrimmage. And I think we ran the wall. So if you haven't watched my channel a lot, the wall punt return is one that I believe in. I have personal experience with it. I don't say you got to run it every time, but we ran the wall to our right, the defense's right, the offense's left, which was the bottom side of the television screen. And then the punter kicks it into the wall. So he kicks it there. So all the coverage is going to envelop to that side. It makes the wall a little more difficult to run, but we did a great job on Slater. The TV broadcast crew covered that. Hamilton and someone else, might have been Geno Stone, but I don't think so, on Slater, double-teamed him. Usually we run the wall to the side where we'll double-team in a gunner. I know you might say, well, we're double-teaming because it's Slater. Okay, it's possible, but I'm telling you, when we run the wall punt return, we are generally running it to the side where we have two guys lined up on a gunner because we're trying to make sure that guy can't destroy the wall. And I'll draw up the wall tonight. That's what I'll do. I'll draw up tonight. I like to do a play every night, so I'll draw up the wall for you guys and let you guys see it and show some examples of it from last year. So huge gain on that 27-yard return, I think. We took possession on their 44 on our 8th possession, I believe. I got a wrong possession up there. Yeah, I've got the wrong possession up here. I'm not sure why, but we're up 21-20. I think I've got the wrong possession. Yeah, I've got the 9th possession there because it should have been our very next possession. Our 8th one would have been the touchdown to Duve on the slot fade. So as soon as we get that punt return, we get the ball on their 44. The very next play, we go QB power read. Huge gain on the left side by Lamar. He cut it back. I think he ends up getting knocked out of bounds at the 6 on the right-hand side. QB power read, QB counter read is killing people early this season. At some point, we're going to have to go a game or two without running it, and hopefully not have to rely on it, number one. Number two, get teams less aware of it, because if they're not aware of QB power read and QB counter read by now, I don't know what they're looking at. Those two are borderline unstoppable plays, the way that we can throw the ball downfield. So Judon gets there on the 1st and goal. 2nd and goal, Duvernay on the sweep, barely gets a couple of yards, and it's 3rd and goal, and you're like, uh-oh. And I don't know about you, but in these goal line situations, we were not going heavy personnel, although we did at least twice. We went spread, 11 personnel, and Duvernay on the slot fade touchdown makes it 28-20. Very next possession, I think the Patriots' 8th possession was the interception by Bynes on the 2nd play, and then our 9th possession, the one that you see here. So I accidentally omitted the 8th possession, and you see the 9th possession here. After the interception by Bynes, we're up 28-20, and we get the ball in their 43. I think this is a little bit of a missed opportunity, but I'm going to give our coaches credit on something. Let's talk about this 3rd and 5 on their 38. And Lamar goes up top to Bateman. Now, some people would say, hey, let's get 3 yards and get a manageable field goal. Or they would say, let's throw a 7-yard slant or, a back shoulder fade, whatever, something to get the first down. I understand that. I kind of like our mentality. If you accept this, do you think that the other team's 38-yard line is field goal range? I think we accept that it is. So this 3rd and 5, we go up top to Bateman on the right side, and it's incomplete. I think it hits Bateman on the fingertips. You know, if we throw that ball to Bateman 10 times, I think he catches it 5 or 6 times. It's a difficult play. I think he's dealing with man-to-man coverage, but he had the guy beat. I don't blame Lamar at all. Not at all. Like, we've got Justin Tucker. Let's start playing football like we have Justin Tucker. Now, you might say, well, Coach, then shouldn't we be getting the first down? I like that we're going for 7. Let's go for 7. And we don't get it. Okay, Justin, do your job. Go do your job. And he did. I thought the kick kind of knuckled one time. If you remember, it put us up 31-20. It was a 56-yarder, 56 or 55. And it knuckled one time, and then it was like the strength of the kick just drove right through the wind. I don't know if you guys saw it the same way, but I thought I saw a knuckle maybe a third or 40% of the way there, and I thought, oh, is this thing going to dip or scoot to one side? And then it hit, his strength, the strength of his kicks, and the directness that he kicks them at, it just powered right through the wind. So 31-20, and we're obviously still concerned because we blew a fourth quarter lead last week, and don't get me wrong, the Patriots were able to threaten. They're able to go down and score easy on a second and goal to get to 31-26, and then they get the 2-point conversion on the great play by Stevenson that's overruled. I want to talk about the 4th and 1. The Patriots are facing a 4th and 1 from our 17-yard line, I think, and they go under center ace, and the running back and the quarterback go to the same side. It's called a cheat play. I call it a cheat play. You're dealing with the quarterback and the running back out into the flats. Normally, you've got a deeper out route from like a tight end or someone to that same side. So you got 3 options: quarterback, run it, throw it to the running back. I thought Bynes and Owe did a fantastic job defending on the front side. Jones is able to escape back the other way and then find Jonnu Smith for the first down. Demoralizing play. Demoralizing. Then I think they go quick, hurry up, and they get Jonnu Smith on the bubble, get down 2nd and goal, and then easy touchdown to Stevenson, who again, converted the 2-pointer that would have made it 31-28, but Marcus Peters thankfully got a hand on him. So 31-26, and we get the big play to Bateman. He's a home run hitter, guys. Bateman fumbled. That sucks. We don't want him to fumble. But look at the plays he's made this year. We have the huge touchdown against the Jets. He beats Xavier Howard on a slant for a 75-yard touchdown week 2. This was his first catch, I think, of the day. I want to say it went for 36, something like that. Yeah, he fumbled. That stinks. Great play by Lamar. Fantastic play by Lamar to find time. I think he had to scramble and then find Bateman down there. So, yeah, it sucks. He turned it over. Patriots go all the way down, threaten to take the lead, and Humphrey makes, his introduction. Unbelievable. Interception, back left corner of the end zone. And my point is still about Bateman, though, to be honest with you. The next possession, I think we get a big possession to Bateman, a big completion to Bateman, or maybe it was 2 possessions later. Yeah, it was. We punted on the next possession, and it ended up being a bad punt. We get another stop. This time it was Hamilton forcing the fumble, what will be New England's 11th possession. So it's actually the 12th possession. We get a second long completion to Bateman where he jukes the crap out of a DB on the sideline and gets like another 12 yards. Can you see his burst? Are you guys seeing it the same way I am? His burst, he looks healthy. Just flat, point blank period. He looks healthy. He was not healthy last year. If you look at his burst this year and his ability to run away from people, make people miss. Everybody talks about YAC. It's an annoying ass acronym. He can make people miss. Yeah, it's called YAC. I get it. But there's more to the game than just YAC. Rashad Bateman was effective last year, but he was not able to make people miss. He didn't look completely healthy. I didn't see this version of Rashad Bateman last year. Did you? The fumble sucked, obviously, but thankfully our defense was able to get 2 stops. The interception by Humphrey, and then the forced fumble by Hamilton. And then QB counter read on our 12th possession. Lamar, twice. 20-yard gain. On one side, he bounced it outside the kick-out block to the left. The one where looked like Wise was going to be able to make the tackle on 2nd and 10. The announcers, I think Daryl Johnston covered it very well. 20-yard gain off the left side. And then on a 3rd and 1 from the Patriots 9, we go QB counter read to the other side, the right this time. 9-yard touchdown, game over, 37-26. We missed the extra point, weird stuff. Overall, man, fun game to watch. Now that you think about it, like it'll be a fun game for us to go back and watch this week. It'll be a fun game to watch in the off season. I try to watch every game in the off season just to help me with content creation, to be able to refer back to plays and remember things. QB counter read has been damn near unstoppable against most teams. The Bills stopped it in 2020 in the playoff game. They had two beautiful calls to stop it. So I'll try to show that this week if I can find it where it is in my database. And then I want to talk something about the football gods. Football gods have not been nice to us with injuries, clearly, right? New England's 12th possession, 3 minutes left. We're only up 37-26. So you're still thinking, okay, they could get a touchdown and then two-pointer and then field goal. The one thing I will say is we had so many holds not called. And I thought we had an obvious hold on the 3rd and 15 on Oweh. 3rd and 15, they complete it to Bourne. And he fumbles it, like run about midfield, somewhere around there, maybe short of midfield. To me, that was the football gods trying to give us the ball back because they should have called a hold, and they didn't. He fumbles it, recovers it. Very next play is the interception where Calais Campbell hits Mac Jones, I believe. Peters intercepts it. I think that was the football gods saying, we recognize that there should have been a hold called on that 3rd and 15. I thought there was at least 3 egregious misses on holds, and that could be one of the things the NFL wants. They want to give offensive linemen more leeway now to promote quarterbacks being protected, quarterbacks being able to deliver the football and score more points and make the game more interesting and longer so they get more ads generated. That is a conspiracy theory mindset. I'm not saying I believe all of it. I'm just giving you a perspective, a thought that I've had in my brain. Last point, I'll talk about our weapons. You could talk about our defense, and we will all week. People can talk about Mike Macdonald if they want, but guys have to cover. Like, it trips me out. People will talk about Mike Macdonald, and guys just don't cover well. I mean, you not talking about our guys not covering well. Talk about both of them. But let's finish this up with our weapons. What's Devin Duvernay done this year? 3 touchdown catches on 3rd down, where we're about the 15-yard line. In previous seasons, and I'm not taking a shot at Marquise Brown. Like, I wish him well. I hope he has 100 catches. In previous seasons on these 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 7s, if we didn't hit Andrews, or if Lamar didn't scramble for a first down, or, maybe occasionally we get a completion to another receiver, who caught those passes? Who converted those tough 3rd downs? Who? Rashad Bateman certainly can. He's capable. But the guy who's done it so far this year, when it hasn't been Andrews, has been Devin Duvernay. 3 3rd down touchdowns from inside the other team's like 25 or so. He had 2 against the Jets, right? And then 1 here against the Patriots. He's also got a kickoff return for touchdown. He has a huge punt return today on the wall concept, I suspect, up the right sideline. He's playing amazing. He got a concussion last week late in the game against the Dolphins. Came back today and played his butt off, man. You have to respect guys who are in 3rd year, right? 3rd year. And maybe some people say haven't produced a lot. I'm going to do a long film study about Devin Duvernay this week. And the first probably minute and a half, 2 minutes of it is going to be old film showing him making plays. He didn't make these plays on 3rd downs, though. That's the difference. He's becoming a guy who wins some of these matchups on 3rd downs because Andrews is getting a lot of attention, clearly. Bateman's drawing a really good corner. And whoever Duvernay's getting in some of these matchups, he's winning these matchups. Andrews is a monster. Just period. He's a baller. He looks like a Hall of Fame player in the last 2.5 years, for real. Impact today, 8 for 90 and 2 touchdowns. He was just great. I thought Lamar missed him one time. I don't think Andrews had any drops today that I can remember, but I know last week he did have 1. Bateman has some big plays. I know he only had 2 catches. You can see they're averaging 30 yards per catch on 4 targets. Doesn't have a lot of targets this year. He's an ex-receiver. He's not always going to have a lot of targets. But you could also say, hey, wait a minute, Coach. Parker for the Patriots is an ex-receiver. He's the backside edge. He got 10 targets. That's true. I think this is the type of team we have. I think we have the type of team where certain guys are going to make plays certain weeks. I have likened it to a basketball team that has like 7 guys who can shoot and score. I don't know who that comparison is. I'm not talking Golden State Warriors scoring. I'm talking about six, seven guys who can all score 15, 18 points, 25 on a good night. And so different guys are going to make plays. Excited, man. I don't know about you. Definitely concerned about the defense. You should be. We gave up 300 yards passing again. 8.6 yards per pass, I think. Yeah, there it is right there on the right-hand side of the screen. But we compete. Still didn't generate enough pressure, if you ask me, but we're not healthy. We're not going to be healthy for a while. We're an incomplete football team. At worst, we are 2-3 after dealing with the Bills, the Bengals, the Patriots on the road, Dolphins at home, and the Jets on the road. I don't think we're going to be 2-3. I think we win one of these next two games and we're 3-2 at worst. But let's say we do lose the next two games. At worst, we're 2-3. We're still in the hunt. We're still fine. The Bengals have started out 0-2. I'm quite sure they finished off the Jets today. I was thinking they would break out. I have no idea what the final score was. Bills lost their first game today down in Miami. Dolphins are 3-0, so they're flying. We can play with all those teams. Are they going to get yards on us? Yes, they are. Yep. I think that's the way football's supposed to be now. We are kind of an anomaly, but I offer to you this. I think we may have the most dangerous offense in football. And people will disagree. You will say, well, Josh Allen's better. You'll say, well, Patrick Mahomes has a great head coach and a great offensive coordinator. I get it. Here's my point. We can throw the ball and hurt you. We can throw the ball deep and hurt you. We can hit short passes, and our guys can break tackles and get big gains. We have, if not the best tight end in NFL, we have one of the top 2 or 3 tight ends in football. And then we have a quarterback who can scramble and escape and hurt your defense badly on the scrambles. And finally, we can run the option. That last piece of it should not be our main focus, and that's why I mentioned it last. A lot of us have come to the agreement that we should be using the option as a secondary or even as our third option. I need to find a better word there. As the third element to our offense and use it when it becomes obvious that we need to. It seemed to me that we needed to today to control the game to help Daniel Falele out. Who knows what's going to happen at tackle? Maybe we need to use it next week some. The Bills do a great job of playing against our option scheme. Dangerous game next week at home. Clearly the opportunity is there for them to come in and score a ton of points and make us all pissed off. But, man, take a day or two and revel in the fact that we went on the road. We won at New England. We beat Bill Belichick on the road. We scored 37 points. And if Rashad Bateman doesn't fumble and we don't get held up on that one drive where Tucker has to kick the 56-yarder. I know it was a 3-and-out, but we got the ball. If those two situations, what if we tack on touchdowns there? You're looking at 45, 48 points. We could have dropped 45 points on a Bill Belichick team in New England today. That's unique. The Bills did that last year, right, in the playoffs, I think. At home, obviously. So I'm excited. I hope you are. I think we're a better team than a lot of us give us credit for because, we see the defense giving up yards. We see the defense giving up scores at times. We got put in 11 personnel hell, and we struggle with it. Everybody does. That's the beautiful thing about 11 personnel when you have a tight end who can block. Let me know what you think of some of my observations, what you think of clearly Lamar playing like a madman today. Our offensive staff doing a great job of adjusting to the personnel we had on the field in terms of Falele. The return of J.K., the big turnovers by our defense, specifically the old guard, Bynes, Humphrey, Peters. Love those guys, love seeing them succeed. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you've sat through this long, I didn't mean for it to go this long, but a fun day to be a Ravens fan, to get a win. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let me know what you think of my observations in the comments section. Please consider sharing this on social media if you think other people might like my reaction vids. Appreciate you guys checking the video out.